Hello, everybody. It's Doro Pesh, and you're listening, and you see the Lord Nelson, and I love him. He's awesome. So keep on watching, keep on listening, and lots of love and metal, and have a great time.
Temperatures rise, we're blazing your skies. Delta to the your speakers. Nelson, that is. Quite shocking. Temperatures rise, we're blazing your skies. Delta do it woodenly. Turn us on to your speakers. You're feeling that vibe that's getting you high, so crazy. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, it is the big guy with the big show, the Lord Nelson, that is. Yeah, welcome back to another explosive episode of Live and Loud with the Lord right here on the CMS Network with 5 Royals ENT. Now, you already know how we do what we do when we do what we do for you. We keep it loud, we keep it real, and we celebrate the absolute best doing it big in the world of music and beyond. Yes, indeed. Now, today's guest, man, oh man, we are in the presence of pure sonic excellence. I'm talking about an award-winning producer, engineer, and songwriter whose name rings out in studios and stages all over the world. Yes, indeed. This brother's not just making music, he's crafting masterpieces from sculpting sound with surgical precision to writing records that hits the deepest parts of your heart and soul. He is a true architect of modern music. His work has powered artists, elevated projects, and set new standards in the game. Woo, I love it, I love it. When it comes to innovation, passion, and straight up musical magic, this dude is a name you need to know. And today, we're diving deep into his world. So sit back, turn that volume all the way up, and let's get live and loud with the Lord right now with the one and only Matt Miller. What's going on, man?
Thank you very much. That's one hell of an intro, and you are a wordsmith, and thank you. I'm doing good, dude. I hope you're doing good too, man.
Yo, my brother, it's all about you, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we always start off with the first question is, where are you from, young man?
I am from Salem, Oregon.
Salem, Oregon.
USA, man. Yeah.
So what's the best thing about being from Salem, Oregon, man?
Well, the people that live here are pretty cool, and we're right outside of Portland. We're like 45 minutes south of it, so it's kind of the same area. I mean, there's a few like barren stretches where there hasn't been urban sprawl yet, but it's what the cool thing about living in Salem is the people are genuinely nice, and I feel that it's kind of like a lot of stuff like a bigger town does. Like you got all the stuff you want, but you can drive an hour to the west and you're at the beach. You can drive an hour east and you're in the mountains, and it's a nice area to live. Like there's just a lot of stuff to appreciate around us, and I think a lot of times people don't take the time to appreciate what's around them, but I try to do my best, and I'm fortunate enough to live in a place where every time I look out my door, I can see something that I can appreciate.
Indeed. Now, I live on the East Coast, of course, South Carolina, and I mean in Columbia, Irmo area, and it's right there, like just like you said, an hour and change to get to the mountains, and then an hour and change to get to the beach, man. So listen, I understand, and I'm actually from Charleston, South Carolina, so
right on.
Always was right there, man. So yeah, I love it. So let me ask you this:
sure,
what genre of music was most prevalent in your house as a child?
That's interesting, and it was bluegrass.
Bluegrass?
Yeah, no kidding, man. Like my dad played guitar for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and my grandpa was a fiddle player for like a lot of the Grand Ole Opry guys. He's on the Grand Ole Opry Board of Trustees. So,
wow.
My family's from Kentucky. So,
okay.
And Louisiana. So, that's what I grew up with. And I grew up surrounded by musicians, and I was fortunate enough. And, that's why I probably like fast music, is because that's what I grew up around. And, at a certain point I rebelled and started listening to metal. But, that's pretty much bluegrass. And I remember bluegrass, and then, stuff like Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. And 10 years after, the Rolling Stones. So I had a good mix of like rock and roll and a lot of country. So, that's what I grew up listening to.
These are the nitty gritty dirt, man. Listen, yeah. Wow, man. Wow. Just saying, it's like I haven't heard that in a while, man, but that's wow. Okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a beautiful thing. Indeed. So describe to us who you were as a teen, man.
Oh, well, when I was a kid, like, I loved sports. I loved football. I loved basketball. I loved baseball. I loved all of it. And we spent a lot of time, because I actually grew up in a little town on the coast. So there was like about maybe 600 people that lived there.
Oh, wow.
And we were always outside in the woods or at the beach running around, and stuff like that. And like I said, I love sports. And as I started going through school, I started noticing that playing sports wasn't about playing sports. It was more about like being cool or being one of, there was more to it. Being sports wasn't what wasn't it about. It was about other things. And as I had grown up, I kind of started to realize that. And I was just kind of like, you know what, man, I don't really like this anymore, because it's not what I thought it should be. And so I started getting into music, and I started playing guitar, and it helped me, get through a lot of tough times, because I lived in a really small area. There wasn't a lot going on. And if you didn't want to party all the time, or you didn't fit in with these people or those people, music kind of like helped me get through all that. And so, I was pretty lonely, and I was pretty, I had a chip on my shoulder, because I didn't think the world is the way that it should have been. And so, music kind of helped guide me through a lot of those emotions and stuff like that. And it was just, something that I found that gave me like a sense of belonging and a sense of purpose and a sense of somewhere, because like being in a band's kind of like being on a team.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I always wanted to be on a team, and I love to, play and compete and do all these things. And, music kind of like, I was an angry kid, man, and I was lonely. And like I said, and I was, probably pretty depressed. And so, music helped me get me through all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you just said I have another show that I do with my son called the Going In Podcast, and I just put out something there about mental health and depression. And my wife and my son, he was home, and we were just driving around, and I just thought that we just record some audio about it, just talking about it.
Sure.
And then I was sending it out to people, man, and it's just so amazing that so many people are going through so many things. And now I know I'm older than you, and I know that when I was young, it was like our parents were just like, oh, just get over it. You're just sad or whatever like that. But when you start looking back, man, people have been going through things for a while. And it's, it's such a big issue now also. But as I say, music is therapy, man. It's your first therapist,
Absolutely.
So I get you. I understand what you're saying, man. That's lovely, man. So now you're telling me who you are. Now, with your family, if I ask your family and friends, what would they say about you? Would they say the same thing about you, or would they have a different perspective of you?
Well, they'd probably say I'm a jerk. No, just kidding. But no, I would like to think they would say nice things like, that I'm a honorable person, that I'm a loyal person, that I try my best and I try to treat people well. And, I genuinely care about those people around me. And I would like to think that they would say those things. They probably call me an asshole sometimes. I mean, I don't know if we can cuss, but, and they would say that I'm a lot more extroverted than I claim to be. That's what my wonderful lady tells me, is that you're an extrovert. And I'm like, I don't really think I am. And she's like, no, you are. So that's what she would probably say. And she'd probably be like, you're cool most of the time, but sometimes you upset me.
Well, listen, hold on. Let me say that kind of low. I understand.
Right, exactly. We're not telling secrets. You know what I mean? We know what's going on.
We definitely know what's going on. Yes, indeed, man. So what do you feel your music embodies from your Northwest upbringing?
I think that, like I said, like living in a really small town, and it rained a lot where I lived.
Right.
And it was, and so, and the weather's not nice, and like it's pretty foreboding. And I think that growing up in that environment is kind of like is present in my music, because it is like like relentless like the ocean. It is like massive like the mountains. It is like, you know, like it is like relentless like the rain, you know what I mean? Or ferocious and stuff like that, you know? And then when I think of my music, those are things that come to mind, because even though it's, you know, heavy music, it's some death metal or whatever it may be. Everything I try to write or try to play is emotive. I want to feel something, and that's what music of all genres. If it speaks to me on an emotional level, then I think that they're, in my opinion, they're making good stuff. And I mean, it's all subjective, but that's what I try to portray, and I think that definitely ties into where I'm from, and you know, where we come from, you know, as people, says a lot about us as individuals. I definitely think that's reflected in my art for sure.
Of course, I got goosebumps when you said that, man, talking about the genre and things, the way this music makes you feel, man. And I love that you say that, because I feel the same way, man. And so, you know, I had Jamie Hanks early on in my show, Jamie Hanks from I Declare War. And,
nice.
Yeah. And so he's from that area around there. And so he was just telling me, he was just like, yeah, it rains a lot, but it's so beautiful though. It's still so beautiful. And I was just like, you know, me, I'm so super visual. And I was just like, yeah, you know, we see all the stuff on TV about what it is, but that country out there is a beautiful country out there, man. So, you know, one day, possibly, I hope to get out there, man, because, you know, I'm a nature person. I love to go fishing and things like that.
Yeah,
but you guys got like bears and stuff out there, man.
You know, there are some natural predators, man. There's mountain lions all over the place, and there are bears and stuff like that. And man, I walk sometimes I go for walks like in the city here, or Salem is, I mean, the city of Salem. But anyway, it's down this park, and it kind of goes into this like nature preserve.
Yeah.
And there's signs that are like, beware of mountain lions. And I'm like, dude, like we're like in a city of like 500,000 or a little less than 500,000 people here. Like, you know, there's mountain lions down here, and sure enough there is and stuff. And yeah, so there are predators, dude, but like sometimes, you know, if you're going to go hunting or something, you got a pistol on you or this and that, you know, or whatever. So you just gotta play it safe. And most of the time everything leaves you alone, you know, and if you're loud and obnoxious and they know you're coming, so, you know, steer clear.
Well, you were talking about like your energy and your music. So to me, listening to your music, your sound is heavy, but it's clean, which speaks to your incredible musicianship and production. So would you say this is your creative signature sound?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I appreciate that, because I don't really hear that a lot, and that's something I definitely strive for, because to me, clarity is what it's all about. And you know, I don't care about being fast. I don't care about being the most technical. I don't care. To me, all those things are like colors on the palette that we paint with, right? So as long as my painting, you can see the lines. I like bold outlines. I like definitive lines. I like defined things. And that's definitely something that I'm going for. Like, because there's times where, you know, as a musician, I'm like, man, this is too slow, or there should be more going on. But I'm like, wait a minute, you know, there's what I want to do and there's what I can do. And those, you know, boundaries are always expanding as a musician. That's something I try to do, you know, on a personal level. But yeah, I want clarity, man. I want clean. I want precise. I don't know how many times I've tried to learn other bands' music to do like hired gun stuff, where I'll go and play shows or tour with people. And I'm trying to listen to learn it, and I can't make it out, you know, and it's really irritating. And with my music, I want it to be super clean, super sharp. I mean, and just definition, because that's articulation is really the thing that I really want the most.
Oh, you do that well, and I like that you said there's what I want to do and what I can do. I love that. You know, that's just being real with yourself, and that's a good thing to have. I love that. I really do. I love that. So, how important is the melodic compared to the heavy vocals?
Oh man, like I love power metal. I love, you know, traditional heavy metal, and you know, I always wanted to make a record that had clean vocals. That's something I've always wanted to do. And to finally have clean vocals, like Biko laying those vocals down, it was really, really cool. And I think it elevates things. And I hate to say this, or I don't hate to say it, but it's just my opinion. To me, well-executed melodic vocals are more powerful than the darkest, deepest growl, guttural, visceral thing. At this stage of the game, for me in my musical journey, I like the idea of clean vocals because it sounds more epic. I think it really is more emotive. Now, you can argue that a person could argue that you know, heavy vocals are very emotive too, which they are. But I really wanted to make a record that had clean vocals. And the next record that we do, the demos are already done. Fiber Tormentum had been done for 2 years. All the demos had been done, and so it was actually going to be an instrumental album at first. Really? And and like, so the vocals. weren't not necessarily an afterthought, but they were another layer that was added that really put it over the top. But the next record that we have, all that's already done, there's spots that are written for like big choruses and big vocal parts, because I really want to emphasize on that this time. And having a vocalist like Biko that can sing really good, also have the heavy parts, like it's like the best of both worlds. And I think that's kind of what makes our album unique, is that it does have like some progressive elements in it, like Symphony X and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And even Dream Theater, but it still has like the death metal stuff too. So I think that's one thing that's made it a little bit different than some of the other albums out there.
Indeed. And just while I was listening to it, I was thinking about, of course, Ryan with Distill and Patrick, but I was thinking about Vengeance, because, I remember touring with them, and they had a song they have a song called As It All Sours. And man, looking at them every night and that song, and it just did something to me. I could not wait to hear that song, and they were like, support for us when I was with Stuck Mojo. And listen, man, I made sure that I was around to hear that song every single night. So I just have that. I hear you. It's that vibe of that melodic and that heavy. And it was just, anyway, I'm on a tangent, but I get you. I love it.
Right on, dude. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So both of the vocals, they both complement each other so well. You've done a great job with that. The energy is so cinematic to me. It's big. So what drove you to this magical moment of creativity? What made you want to really go there?
Well, that's really cool that you brought up the word cinematic, because I really do think of music as movie scores. Mm-hmm. Because emotive things are really, really like, I want to get that really present in my music. And when I think about it, sometimes I think about the songs as like scenes to a movie. Mm-hmm. And like, or if this was going on, what would that sound like? And trying to like think in different ways, because I want to keep running my horizons. So I think that the cinematic element is definitely something. When I write music, I try to think of something like that's super climactic, or or I'll write a part. Like what I try to do to not do the same thing all the time, like the same tropes, is like I'll write something on the guitar and I'll put it down. And I'll start writing in notation software, because I'm trying to think differently. I don't want to do the same thing all the time. I want to expand my horizons. I want to get better, make better music, say less with more, all that kind of shit, right? So I'll just sit down and start notating stuff. And sometimes that's when the best stuff happens. And then I can really see it, like where I'm trying to compose it, I guess, if I want to be fancy, or whatever. So that way I start thinking of all those different counterpoints, all these other parts, and thinking about all these little pieces that go together. And so that's kind of where my thought process is, because I kind of think about it as I'm telling a story, because music should tell a story. And I think about it in a sense of like, if this was happening, what would that sound like, or what would that feel like?
No, awesome indeed. And listen, you're definitely doing that, my brother. There's no doubt about it. You're making that happen. And so let's dive into Fiber Tormentum. Sure. Educate us on the title and what it means to you. Okay,
so like I was laying in bed one night, and I try to like watch documentaries and stuff when I go to sleep. It helps me sleep, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was laying there in bed, I was falling asleep, and I was watching this Roman history documentary. And Fiber Tormentum is the sound of when they like drew back the ballistas, like those huge spears that they would launch and stuff. Yeah. That's the sound of the ropes were getting tight. So that's what it means. Like, so fiber is the rope, tormentum's the strain that it's under.
Wow. See, once again, I'm visual. And then you just told me about that, so I'm picturing all that now. I'm hearing it also.
Right, exactly. Right, pretty cool.
That is really cool.
So, like, when it came to the album title, so that was like, oh, that's gold. Like, everybody's got something in their phone, like, oh, that's awesome. Like, writing down a quote they hear somewhere, or some sort of words that go together. I'm always on the lookout for cool stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I heard that. And the record was being made, and there wasn't any vocals yet. And then I started thinking to myself, okay, we got a vocalist now. I got this awesome title. Let's go ahead and like, what does that sound like? So to me, it's like every fiber of your being. Mm. You know what I mean? Because I almost titled it, or almost spelled it with an R-E at the end, like to make it fancy, but like, because like every fiber of your being, like I was saying, kind of thing. Yeah. And so Tormentum, like, sometimes, this, it reflects like where we are in life, or like reflects the world around us and that kind of stuff. And so I had this concept of like, I wanted to make a concept album. And so like with the theme I had, which was like a sci-fi kind of theme, it made sense, because it's like every fiber of our being, that fits the narrative, the ideas that I had for the concept album. So I thought it sounded really cool because initially the album was going to be called Effectively Neutralized when it was an instrumental album.
Gotcha.
And there was different artwork and stuff like that, but all those little things seemed to line up, and I thought that's really cool. So like when I was trying to write the lyrics for the concepts that are kind of loose a little bit, but it really, if I thought of that 2-word phrase, Fiber Tormentum, it really helped me write the lyrics for the concept that I had too. So it's kind of like all encompassing, if you will.
Indeed. No. I love it. And the artwork of the album, it really grabs you. It really does. And it's just very interesting as I looked at it and listened to the music. So, hey, man, no, great job, man. I'm telling you, man. So all of these songs on this album are awesome. And
thank you, dude.
The title track, Fiber Tormentum, though it is an instrumental, it gives me that feeling of how I believe the ride of a Bugatti would feel on the Autobahn. It's luxurious, it's fast and powerful, yet it's in total control. So everything is harmonious to me. So on the other tracks, I love the orchestration also and the arrangement with the big vocals. It's definitely an amazing ride vocally and sonically. And I don't feel like, those heavy vocals where you're yelling at me. I feel like you're talking to me. You have something meaningful to say. And I just wanted to say that. So
thank you, dude.
So are you the sole producer? And if so, where do you pull from, for the themes and titles of your songs? What inspires your creativity?
Like, so on this record, on all of them up to this point, I wrote all the lyrics. I wrote all the music. I did all that kind of stuff. And, and even on a production sense, like I do a lot of it too, but like I'm production as far as like mixing and stuff like that. And so in this time though, I had a lot of help from Jordan, a drummer. Okay. He's a great producer and stuff like that. And we actually sat down when we were doing the vocals, where him and I would and Biko too, we'd sit there with a keyboard and try to figure out the melodies. So this time it was nice to have other people involved. Because like I said earlier, I want to be in a band. I want to be on the team. Right. And so to have these other musicians that are super awesome people and super good have a very high skill set, a large skill set, bringing them in to, make the songs better really, really helped. And Justice did too with the bass. And so it was definitely a team effort. It's kind of like I have all the ingredients, but you can't cook the sauce yourself. You can't, make the side dishes yourself. So it was definitely I'm like the Gordon Ramsay, and these guys are there to, I'm just trying to, if that makes any sense. Like we're all cooking together, man. Right. Even though I demo, like these songs are old or I've been sitting on them for a long time, it doesn't mean that there weren't other people that helped to make them what they are. And I give those guys a lot of credit because they do deserve it. They arose to the high level, and without them, it wouldn't be what it is, dude.
I got you. It sounds like it allows you to exhale a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so you can breathe better, man. No, I get it, man. Me being the writer that I am, lyrically, and my boy Matt Acevedo, we have Plastic Catastrophe with Lord Nelson, and Matt is the music guy. Even though he allows me, if I hear something, he's very open to it. But I allow him to do what he does, and he allows me to do what I do. But yet still, what you're saying with all of these different parts that you guys have and adding this creativity over here and this creativeness over here, and then it makes a great product. And that's definitely what you have. So me saying that, after listening to this amazing body of work, what would you like we the listeners to get from it?
Well, and to be honest, you've already said a couple of those things, like emotive, like movie music, like driving down the freeway, just flying, you know what I mean? But and that's exactly what I'm going for. And even some of the other instrumental songs from my other albums, those kind of feelings, man, like that's exactly what I'm going for. I wanted to spark and get an emotional reaction, and hopefully that reaction is a positive one, or a way to release negative feelings in a positive way. That's what I really want. And I want it to feel intense. I want people to feel like they can really latch onto it and it means something. That's what I'm going for.
Once again, you definitely got it, man. It's a great listen. It really is. So now this question here, how much do you feel you've grown musically and personally since you first gave your life to music?
Oh man, it's so much. And I continue to grow, and I try to continue to be a better person in all those things. And one thing that my chick told me, therapy's good. You know what I mean? It is good, believe it or not. And it takes courage to get there. So I'm a little late to the party, but hey, it's working for me, man. And before that, music was, like you said, was therapy. And music's done a lot of really good things for me. I got to meet a lot of great people.
Of course.
I've got to go to some really, really cool places. I've got to know what it feels like not to be in my comfort zone, to look at things from other perspectives, to appreciate what's going on around me. And, it's been nothing but a positive. There's negative sides to this business, unfortunately. Of course. And we all fall to it sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's been an overwhelmingly positive experience, because I could not imagine what my life would be like if I didn't have this, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. So, music is something that it's like it gives me hope, and so it's encouraging. Like when you go out there on the road and you meet people, and and you form true friendships with folks, and it's kind of like. There's like a bond there. And then man, like when you're out there and you're doing that kind of stuff, it changes the way you look at life.
Of course.
And, like that whole adrenaline rush of like being on the road and you're just going. And then you come home and all the lights go off and you're just sitting there. There's a lot of feelings that come out, man. There are a lot of feelings. Sometimes you get a little teary eyed and stuff like that. You're like, damn, that was a lot. And, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, dude. And I think that music has helped me express myself. I mean, believe it or not, it's art, it's self-expression, but that's what it's done.
Listen, so yes, you see, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, because once again, I'm so visual. I'm seeing everything you're talking about. And so when you said that, I remember coming back, and my daughter she was in medical school and she was about to graduate. And I was back home, and I just gotten back off a tour with Stuck Mojo. And listen, we're at MUSC. And I'm down there, and my father's there, and my family, and we're all sitting down and we're eating, right?
Right.
And my wife is like, "Where are you?" I was just like, "Right now at this time." And we're in Europe. I said I would have been going on stage doing whatever, and she was just like, "Come on, man." I was just like,
right.
You can't help it. So yes, and still to this day. There's songs that come on, like Rich used to have a playlist, on before we go on. And right. I'm hearing the Eagles, or I'm hearing Journey or Boston or whatever. And it's just like you're listening to it. And so anytime still to this day, if I hear that music, I am back there again. If I hear certain songs, like say I may hear your music and it takes me back to, watching Vengeance perform, those kind of things. I can't help it, man. Just like you said, man, music I'm telling you, is one of the greatest, if not the greatest thing in the world to be, man. I really love it that much, man. I thank you for that, man. That was really, really good, man. Indeed. So what makes Matt Miller a must watch and listen?
Oh, man. Well, I think that we're always trying to do a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And we're always trying to do something different. And, we are on an upward trajectory, in my opinion, and that's why I'm here now. Thank you very much. And so, we mean it, man, and we're trying hard because we people that take the time. We're so lucky. All of us are. Any artists, we're so lucky that people take the time to hear our music, or read our books, or look at our paintings or art, whatever. We're so fortunate. But we really mean what we're doing. We really believe in it. We really. We're it's like the whole all I need is a chance, or put me in, coach. All we need is one chance, and and we're ready, man. And so that's why is because we genuinely mean what we're doing. This isn't for any other reason because we love it. We're not trying to be cool or trying to be some sort of influencers. I mean, there's all those things that go up into this kind of stuff,
right?
But genuinely, deep down, we believe in what we're doing, and we're honest and we're appreciative to everyone that takes the time to listen to what we're doing. And so that's why it's because we're doing this for the right reasons, man.
Oh man, awesome. I love that. So now I'm gonna ask you a little personal question.
Sure.
So who are you specifically beyond the music?
Well, that's interesting. I think that I'm a pretty quiet person. Mm-hmm. I'm somebody that likes simple things. I mean, I like my people in my life tell me that I'm not a simple person, but I try to think I think I am, but
right.
I got really strong morals, and I stand up for what I believe in, and I try to be a good person and treat people well, and I'm a father, I'm a dad, I'm a single dad of 4 kids. I've been raising my kids for the last 12 years by myself. My oldest 2 are gone there. My son was in the Marines. my daughter's going to college in Arizona.
Right.
And I got 2 kids left. So I'm a dad, man. And like everything I do, I view through that filter, you know what I mean? And, that's my number one, priority is my kids, and everything that I do kind of comes from that place. And I mean, it's been a growing experience, and I've learned a lot of wisdom along the way, and, made some mistakes here and there, but
of course,
as we all do. But, that's what I am, is I'm trying to be a good person, be a good dad, and somebody that the people that in my life know that I appreciate them just as much as they appreciate me.
Awesome, man. I feel you with the family thing and the children, man, listen, Ryan's birthday was on September 28th, and so was mine. We had the same birthday. And so, man, just to have my children in town, and just everybody being there, and no arguing, no craziness, just nothing but love, celebrating the big guy. So, it was good. And I'm just real humble dude, and I just like to have a good time. And it's not about presents or anything like that. But, when you watch them grow, from these children, I mean, just so small. And then now it's like, wow. And they are a part of you, and you can see so much of yourself in them.
Oh, yeah.
It's man, my son and I, we don't look just alike, but we can see things in each other,
Oh, yeah.
Quick little story. When he played some pro ball over in Iceland, and I remember we were FaceTiming each other. And when we FaceTime each other, just for about, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds, we just looked at each other. And I was like, what's wrong, man? He's like, what's wrong with you? I said, it's like I'm looking at myself. He said, I'm thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, man, listen, there's nothing better. It's just all love, man. So I love that you are that dude, man. Not that you got to have my approval or anything, but I just think that I can tell you are that kind of human being. And like Ryan and John Winters Hell B says, man, we just need better human beings in the world, man.
Yeah, dude.
I can definitely tell you're one of those dudes, man. So I truly appreciate you. So what can we expect from you for the remainder of the year?
Well, I think that we're going to have some more content. We got another playthrough video. We got a bunch of stuff like videos for the release and stuff like that. Right. But we're working on hitting the road. Mm-hmm. And we definitely want to do that as soon as possible. It's got to be all, everything has to kind of, how it is. Dude, things got to align and this and that, all the moving parts and how much it's going to cost and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so we definitely want to get on the road. We're definitely going to put out some more visual content. We actually have a new single that we're done with too. Mm-hmm. And so and nowadays, like, album cycles don't really exist anymore. You know what I mean? With, so that whole, like, you record a record, then you go on the road for a bit. It's kind of, I mean, for some people it does, but we have what we are planning on doing before the end of the year. I don't know if it'll come out before the end of the year. Is we have one new single that's completely done. Mm-hmm. Sounds killer. It's a little bit different than what we've done. It's still rocking, still super heavy, super melodic, but it's in my opinion, it's still technical, but it's not as, it's more like utilizing the elements that we have at this point. So there's a lot more, the vocals are big and wide open. The guitars are more melodic. The drums are heavy still, but quick. It's really catchy, and it's just what came out that way. It wasn't something that we premeditated or anything like that.
Organic,
so a new single, exactly. And man, I tell you what, dude, working with competent people or people that are or do you like good like working chemistry, you can write songs quickly. And it was really cool because I had some riffs. Some of them were kind of old, but like older than like you hold on to riffs or lyrics and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You put them in, so you don't forget them,
right? And
I started playing these riffs, and then I learned something. And then I made something, and I put all these riffs together. I sent it to Jordan, man. The drums were done in a day. I sent it to Biko, or Jordan sent it to Biko. Then the vocals, the lyrics are all written. Right. So we wrote a really killer song between us in like less than a week, dude. And it's super rad. We're super happy with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to release that. And then we're going to go back, and we're going to take some of the songs from our set that were instrumental, that even me and Jordan had played instrumentally, and we're going to add vocals to those. Awesome. There's a few songs that would be really sick with vocals because all the songs I've written, like I've always had, like I always wanted to have a singer, but so some of those songs really translate well to having vocals.
Indeed.
And this whole thing was started because I was writing songs for a band I was in, but nobody, like during COVID, but nobody really cared or like didn't want to take it seriously when we should have been really working hard during that time.
Right.
We didn't want to do that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm taking all these songs and going to do this. I can't sing worth a crap. So I was like, okay, they're going to be instrumental, but I always had written them with vocals, like, that's how you write a song. You know what I mean? So, whatever that means. And so, we're going to re-record some vocals on those tracks. And so we're going to put out an EP of one brand new song, a new single, and then we're going to take some of the instrumental tracks and have vocals on those. So it's going to be really cool.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to that, man. Most definitely. And just hearing you say, listen, as I've told people that I've been told so many times, man, if you haven't released anything and you got stuff, it's all new. It's all new. Exactly. It might be old to you, but it's new to everybody else.
Absolutely.
Nobody's heard it. So, and anytime I hear instrumental, I'm always, me being the creative that I am writing wise, I'm always humming something because I love melodies. And I'm always humming something. My wife is like, do you sing to everything? She's having an MRI. She's like, I just I knew you were over there, writing something and rapping something in your head. I was just like, you got me. I said, because it's just what it is. It's just what.
Absolutely. It's like when you turn your turn signal on and when you're getting ready to turn when you're driving your car and you hear that click, 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 click. Right. In my head, I'm like, I'm riffing out, man. Seriously.
Indeed, absolutely, man. There's no doubt about it, man. I can't help it, man. It's just what I've been blessed with. It's just what it is, man. There's no doubt about it. So, but man, what was the last song you listened to?
Oh man, geez. Well, last night, what were we listening to? Because we were having a good time. What was it? God, I think. Oh man, I'm not saying I don't remember because I drink too much. I'm trying to remember which one it is.
Oh man. Love, man, come on, man.
What's like? What the heck was it like? So I know we listened to I listened to that new Megadeth tune, Turning Point. I listened to the New Testament song, Hang 'Em High or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. And then there was some 90s rap and R&B stuff that we were listening to, and I can't remember who it was. So, when I'm home, when I'm by myself, I pretty much listen to the same old stuff. I try to broaden my horizons, but when we're having a good time, I like to listen to a lot of different stuff. And
of course,
we listen to some Unleashed. And I don't really like to listen to super heavy stuff when I'm having a good time. Because I don't want to think. I want to enjoy music, and I think that sometimes when you're if your brain works, when you start humming stuff, and you start thinking about things academically or what I mean? What I'm saying? You're not, at a certain point, you don't enjoy it anymore. You're analyzing it. And I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So always try to listen to something that's metal or hard rock or even hip hop and rap and stuff too. But I want to sit back and enjoy it.
I am the same way when we go on trips, I'm always road trip ready. And, I have my Spotify or stuff on my phone and I might be in the mood for some country music. I might want to listen to Ronnie Millsap in Alabama. I might want to listen to some classical music. I might want to listen to some jazz music or some reggae music. Totally. It would always drive my family crazy because they're like, man, who is this guy? Where is he? I just love music like that. It's just whatever's hitting me. So, yacht rock or some heavy rock or, listen, I hear you and I understand, man. And as I tell people, I'm not a genre snob. I just love music. And if it's hot, it's hot. That's all it is to it. I don't care what it is. If it's hot,
exactly.
It's hot. Yeah.
Indeed, absolutely.
Indeed. So,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And I am trying to get better at broadening my musical horizons. Like my lady, she'll listen to she listens to a lot of hip hop. She listens to sad boy wailing. She listens to country. Listens to Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan and all this kind of stuff. And I know these people are, but so my musical education, Lauryn Hill. We listened to some of that yesterday too. I remember that now. It's all coming back to me. So I'm trying to get better at it, man. But sometimes I'm kind of stuck in my ways, but I'm trying.
I got you. Listen. As they say on the Star Wars thing, I say what did Yoda say? Don't try, do or do not.
Exactly. Totally.
So that's what it is. But no, I get it, man. It's not that we have to like everything, man. But
right. No, I'm just going to cut you off. But I guess my point is we can learn something from anyone and from anywhere.
Yes.
You know, like we were listening to Taylor Swift last night, and I got nothing but respect for that lady.
Yeah.
And she's doing something right, man. And like, in my opinion.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm listening, man, that production's real sleek. The vocal background stuff going on. Like you know, I mean, I'm not saying that it's like I'm going to go, you know, listen to it. I'm hauling ass down the Autobahn
Right.
But, you know, like I get it, man. And there's something to be learned from that slick production and all those kinds of things. So yeah, you can learn something from anybody, you know?
Hey, listen, like Quincy Jones says, man, you take 10 things from your favorite bands, 10 different things from 10 different bands. And he's like, you have your own style. It'll be you. And so we're all influenced by things, man. And the band that I have coming out tomorrow episode, Rosie, which is on the roster, and they are so amazing. They're just young and energetic and got that mainstream type clean. It's just, anyway, I love them. They're like right now, they're my favorite to listen to. And so it's just super, super, super dope, man. For you know what it is, man. It's definitely dope. So, young man, the floor is yours. Please feel free to speak about anything you'd like, and please let my watchers and listeners know how they can follow and support your music and movement.
Sure. Thank you, dude. Well, I appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to what we have to Fiber Tormentum. And if you enjoy that album, please go back and listen to some of the earlier stuff. There's a bunch of cover albums I did with whole sorts of different bands, different styles, you know, from, you know, Maiden to Necrophagist to Deicide to Cannibal Corpse to Symphony X. So if you get the chance, go back and revisit some of the earlier ones, and, you know, and keep your eyes peeled for what we're doing, because we're really working on something really, really cool. And hopefully we will get a chance to see everybody, you know, on the road here in the not too distant future. And, you know, hopefully, you know, the world, everybody's being kind to each other and people aren't going crazy. You know, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world right now, but, you know, we're all people and we're trying to get through this together. You know what I mean? So, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, once again, just totally grateful for everybody's support. Thank you for having me on here and, you know, taking the time to listen. And you know, I appreciate the things that you've said, because that's exactly what I'm going for, and what the team's going for, is stuff like that. So, you know, once again, hit this social media stuff, Instagram if you get a chance, Facebook, Spotify. I got a YouTube channel where I do interviews, and maybe it'd be cool to have you on my podcast.
Anytime you want me on there, you got me, man.
That's awesome. And I appreciate that, dude. We'll get it all scheduled, and you know, so stop by all that kind of stuff if you get a chance. You know, go to the Kaler website if you're looking to buy guitar stuff, and use my last name as a promo code, and you'll save some money. And you know, Kaler's a great company. They make stuff in the USA, and you know, they're coming back. They used to be a really big company back in the day, and they kind of went away for a little while, but they're regrouping, so they need all the support they can get to. And yeah, man, like, just gratefulness and gratitude and hope and goodwill, dude.
Indeed, man. Well, look, I appreciate you, man. And listen, your family, anytime you want to come back, anytime you need me, just let me know.
Thank you.
I'm here. I am that guy who just loves what I do, man. And I'm really thankful and grateful to have you, you know, here. I'm honored. You know, your presence really means a lot. So thank you very, very, very much. I really, really appreciate it, bro.
Hey, dude, anytime, man. Thank you.
Indeed. So, yo, what a show. Family, big love and respect to the one and only Matt Diller, yes indeed, an absolute beast behind the boards, an inspiration in the game, and a true creator of soulful sound and energy. I am your host, the Lord. Gotta get that pause for effect, man. Nelson, that is. And you already know this is Live and Loud with the Lord right here on the CMS Network with 5 Royals ENT. And as always, thank you for taking the time to spend some time. And until next time, do your best to lead with love and follow with faith. And once again, the magical Matt Diller. Yeah.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Thank you, bro. Hey, man. Awesome time.
Turn it up. You're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord, Nelson, that is.
Turn it up.
You are now rocking with Live and Loud with the Lord,
Nelson, that is.